This is Life Rewired, the brain injury podcast for survivors by survivors. And now your host, Rob and Ashley. Hi, I'm Rob, and this is Life Rewired. Today I have a very special guest that I've known for, almost my entire life. I met her when I was a teenager, and her name is Laura Leach. Hello, Laura.
Hi, Rob. How are you?
Not too bad. Gosh, we've known each other since... When did you get married?
The 90s.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah,
Back when we were
95.
both 9.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Well, the reason I wanted to have Laura on today is Laura has a very unique experience to the brain injury world as well. How long ago has it been since you had your aneurysm?
Well, this December 1st will be 6 years.
6 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I just wanted to talk about that. So do you remember anything about that day?
Oh, I remember everything.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
yeah, let's go back to that day.
Okay.
Life was normal, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
it wasn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My daughter was the drum major of the marching band, and we had gone to the Christmas parade and went all over the town, all the square, following her. And then we came home and I started making nachos and cheese, and real suddenly I felt nauseous.
Mm.
And Elijah was sitting at the table with headphones on. He's sixth grade, and he could have opted not to listen to me, but very quietly I just said, "Elijah, go get Dad. I don't feel good at all." And by the time Rick got downstairs, I was vomiting all over, lost control of my bowels, numb on my right side, and just repeating words over and over. And then I don't really know how much time went by because Olivia finally made it home and she had to clean me up, which was, I don't even remember that. But I do remember hearing them say, "How are we going to get her in the car?" And I was able to get up and walk to the car, and they kind of shoved me headfirst into the car. And I could hear them talking. I could hear Rick talking. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go. And as soon as we get to the hospital, I heard voices, and it was the person that I knew was going to take Elijah. And then I never heard another thing until Monday afternoon, and that was Saturday.
Wow. So how long did you actually spend in the hospital?
I was 3 weeks at IU at Methodist in Indianapolis, and then I did a week in Bloomington Hospital, and then I had rehab for several months after that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the statistics on those are not great, but
Mm-mm.
you really had the Lord on your side.
Yeah, I think that they say if you can get to the hospital with, oh, if with consciousness, then there's a greater chance to save you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not. I remember waking up in hospital on Monday, and Rick says I explained the story wrong because I thought he wrote in my hand, but that wouldn't have been it. He can talk to me. I just couldn't talk because I had the tube in my throat. But I
Yeah.
remember asking what happened to me, and he said aneurysm, and I thought, how in the world have I survived this? Because most people I know don't. I don't know anybody that survived. I do know
Yeah.
since I've survived, I've met a few people.
Mm-hmm.
So but I've also, learned of many people that didn't make it. And
Yeah. So since then, have you learned of all of the, is there a lot of different types of signs for it, or is it just kind of what you went through?
Well, I didn't have a clue that I had one. Just the headache and the vomiting. Rick, Rick had said he thought I had a stroke. I couldn't tell him that I had one. I was only repeating. I kept saying, I want my mom. That's what I kept
Oh,
saying. I want my mom. I couldn't. I couldn't communicate with them,
hmm,
and so anyway, they had to figure it out and get me to the ER.
yeah.
Yeah.
So thank God for a quick thinking son and a
Uh huh.
husband that lost his way for just a brief second because he
Yeah.
couldn't know where.
Mhm.
I tell you, he probably did a lot better in that situation than I would have done.
I know he explains how nerve wracking it was, and of course this is
Hmm.
before COVID because a ton of people like we couldn't get a hold of my parents.
Mm.
So, or they couldn't get a hold of them, and somebody had to wake them up. They were already in bed. And then my sister in Alabama, her and her husband loaded up and headed this way, and just a lot of people from church. The waiting room was packed, they said. And but then I had a second surgery 2 years later, and that was Rick had to drop me off for me to go have brain surgery. Not a
During
person
COVID.
to go with me. Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
different. Very,
Oh
it was
yeah.
very sad and scary, actually.
Now is that the surgery with the coil?
I had coiling the first time, and and then the second time I had a pipeline diversion, which was like a stent because it was leaking.
Gotcha.
In fact, I was supposed to have that surgery the second week COVID came, but I got pushed back because they were not sure if it would really help me. So I guess you call it elective. But
Yeah.
I had to wait till June, and um, they were able to seal it up again. So
Don't you love it when life-saving procedures are electives?
yeah, no kidding. That was a scary wait time between March and June.
Oh, I
But
guarantee you
yeah,
probably were on eggshells the entire time.
yeah. Well, it's not like I don't know. I mean, I didn't know. I guess. I mean, I wasn't. It wasn't eggshells. I did feel like I trusted, God. I do really feel like.
Hmm.
Actually, I feel like my faith was stronger on the other side of the aneurysm. I felt like I had strong faith, but
Yeah.
definitely on the other side, just your days are numbered.
Well, don't you think that kind of strengthens your faith when you survive and come
Yeah,
through something like that?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I just think that the prayers of everyone saved me for
Oh,
sure.
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I know there's two ways to handle the situations with positivity or negativity, and negativity never wins.
No. Mm-mm. I think that your attitude helps you
Hmm.
um, recover. I do.
Yeah, I think it does too. I think that's key. I do
Hmm.
think that's key.
Yeah.
So, how has that changed your life since then? Because I know you, I think I remember that you went back to work. I can't remember it now, but
Well, I did. I tried to go back to work, and it's so sad because I used to be able to. I was working at Hope Resource Center, which is a pregnancy care center,
mm,
and I was the main girl who did, the received the calls, helped get them their appointments, and I did the counseling, and I did the mailing list and like merging and everything. When I came back, I didn't have I couldn't get the words to come to my head quick enough to know what to say.
mm,
And I had the lighting, overhead lighting was, uh, I don't know what the word is, and the computer, staring at the computer. I kept saying, I'd cry. I was not this job wasn't for me anymore. So I did try to get a job at a nursing home. That was perfect because my very first day, I had my shirt on backwards, but no one noticed it until about 4:30 in the afternoon. So I think I'm going to fit in just fine. But I could tell those people that I had used a walker and a shower chair, and I'd had a stroke, and I was able to identify.
You
with them.
had community there with those people.
I really did.
Yeah.
And that quit when COVID happened because unfortunately they had to go all to their rooms, and but then I was able to go home and get the rest I really needed.
Yeah. And
So
rest is so key.
yeah, you wake up with a half charged battery,
Mm-hmm.
and when it's
Yeah.
done, it's done.
Mm-hmm. I I'm fortunate that I get to take breaks every 2 hours at where I work because of how they got their breaks. They give us an extra break for wellness. So literally every 2 hours, I'm able to get away from the screen. But
That's good.
if I had to sit here for a full 8 hours and just get a couple of breaks, I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
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 because you know what I mean. When that bell goes off and it's time to go home,
mm-hmm.
you're done.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I
but
sleep a
it's
lot. Do you sleep a lot?
all the time.
I do too.
I
I
sleep a lot, but then I can't sleep at night.
I can sleep at any hour at any time, and I'm sleeping too much, which actually I just went to the doctor yesterday, and he's having to sign me up for physical therapy just because it takes a toll on your body. It's laying so
Yeah.
much. I'm really kind of, I shouldn't say I'm falling apart. I'm thankful that I'm alive, but
Hmm.
I'm just stagnant so long tightens your muscles, and
Hmm.
so you know I'm not
Yeah.
very
I mean, look at me. You remember what I looked like before my brain injury? Nothing like this.
well. I I'm again for you, you're alive, so
Hmm.
hey, we just have different mountains to climb, challenges.
Yeah. And then you find different purposes for your life,
Right.
and
And that's hard. That's hard.
at first, and I think you're probably going to agree with me, but you can tell me if I'm wrong. But at first, it's like everything you knew was out the window, and you
Hmm.
just didn't feel like you ever had purpose anymore. It's like,
Hmm.
why am I even here? Because my
Yeah.
life is gone.
Yeah. I recently even just felt that way because I think it matters different seasons too. Um,
Hmm.
but I got through it. I did battle with some depression, but that's okay. Get through that too. And, I'm quilting now, which is a blessing because I was able to still do that. But I don't do it as efficient as I thought that I would. And so my mom and dad helped me. They bought me this long arm. You know what a long arm is?
I've heard of it.
Well, it's 10 feet wide. Well, the frame is. And it's overwhelming to figure out the machine. And I let it sit for 9 months before I even tackled it again. But um, I'm back on it again, and it's easier. So that makes me feel like I have purpose to quilt.
Yeah. You have to find sometimes just something else that gives you purpose.
Yeah,
You know, you know that I used to play piano all the time.
yeah, yeah.
And gosh, for probably 2 years I didn't touch the keys at all.
Wow.
But I don't play like I used to, but every once in a while I'll get the urge. I'm like, I'm gonna play just so I can show myself that I can still do it.
Mm-hmm. You just said something. I think we had to prove to ourselves that we could still do what we've always done,
Hmm.
but you can't do everything that you used to do. I know the 2 weeks before I had the aneurysm, I painted my entire house in a weekend,
Mm.
and there's no way I could do that now.
No.
I don't even want to do it now. And that's the sad part is I don't even want to do the things that I used to do, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, I struggled with that with my cakes for the longest time
Oh
because
yeah.
it brought me so much joy,
Uh-huh.
but it also brought me so much stress.
True, yeah.
And I was like, there was no balance. I'll make a cake for Sheila, but that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can identify. It's yeah, I had to give up a ladies class I taught at church that I love. I love teaching ladies. But
Hmm.
I don't know, it's too much stress to get it all planned, and I don't know. That's okay. I don't have to do that. anymore. It's
Well,
okay.
by the time you got it planned, you didn't have the energy to do it.
Right. Or I'd be stressed. I mean, it was a stress. So you have to pick your battles, and
Oh yeah.
it's not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So,
Have you found that the people around you don't understand?
well, I don't know how I can. I mean, I think you can only tell them what you know, and if they've never been through it, then they wouldn't be able to understand. But Rick is an excellent. Uh, he has taken up the slack on everything. He gets my medicine. He orders my medicine. Well, he does everything with medicine. Even puts it in the little pill box for me, and
I
then
have a
he'll
Rick
remind
too.
me. Yeah. Well, then he has to remind me to take it, and then I'll take a drink, knowing that I need to take my medicine, and somehow I'll drink that whole water bottle and forget what I was drinking for, and then he'll shake the little pill box. Hello. But he has been the biggest help. And when I had a dog, do you have still have a pet? Do you have a
We
pet?
have two. We have two cats.
Well, my dog, when I first came home, my dog would not leave my side, and she wouldn't eat. We noticed she wasn't eating, so we'd have to
Hmm.
bring the food in the living room because she's no longer here, but she got me through that hard time at home. Just because I had to depend on people cooking for me and cooking for all of us actually.
Yeah.
and and just Rick had to get me to the rehab, and of course I had a gait belt, and it was winter, it was January
Hmm.
and February, so
Oh, that's the best time to
ice,
go, isn't it?
yeah, ice and a gait belt, and it was a it was a fun winter.
Oh gosh. I remember when I had my foot surgery, we went to a Wendy's and their floor was so slick. Sheila like just kind of grabbed onto me and helped me across till we got to the carpet. So it's like I know what you're talking about
Mhm.
because but you're dealing
Yeah,
with ice.
yeah, it was fun.
Oh yeah. It's an adventure though, you know?
Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You can't plan ahead, and you don't know what the next step's going to be. You
Mm-mm.
pretty much have to trust other people to get you through.
Yes. And the thing that I always tell everyone how I describe a brain injury is every day is a question mark.
True. Yeah.
What I did yesterday doesn't mean I can do it today.
Right. And I even learned. I remember going to rehab, and they were sitting here telling us, now you're going to be exhausted just from taking a shower. You're going to be exhausted doing this, and I was like, he's not talking to me. He's talking to them. Well, when I got home, I could not believe how much energy had been exerted from just taking a shower.
Hmm.
And I even sat in a shower chair the whole time. So, you have to learn how to spend your energy.
Yeah.
And when it's
We
spent, you take a nap.
have you ever heard of the spoon theory?
No,
We did a podcast on it earlier this year. Um, Basically, they convert spoons to energy. So if you had a cup of spoons,
mm-hmm.
you'd say you would assign a certain amount of energy to each spoon. So, like, say everybody starts off the day with 5 spoons. Well, driving a car,
Yeah.
going to work, that's one
Mm-hmm.
spoon for a normal person. That might be different for me. It might be 3 spoons for me. It might be 5 spoons for you. So
Mm-hmm.
once you're out of those spoons, you're done for the day.
Yep.
You got to recharge those spoons.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I nap. I nap a lot, which, I wanted to nap at that job. Actually, I had worked at that nursing home, but as the activities director, but I had to convince them that I could do the same job. They wanted me to be there every day. I said, I can do it if you'll let me do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then I would crash on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. But I felt like crashing in the middle of those days, but it was part of me just I had to work. So I made it work. And the love that you received, that's what kept me going. But I didn't realize how much sleep I really needed until it's almost like God sent COVID just for me so I could get my rest. But I sleep a lot.
Sheila said that COVID was, I was the most prepared person for COVID that she knew because I'm such a germaphobe. Didn't bother me staying at home a bit.
Well, that's so cool that so you got to work from home then, right?
Yeah. Well, I've been working from home since, what year did Michael Jackson die? Because that's the week he died. That's when I came home. Was
Mm.
like, it's been a long time. I've been home a long time.
I guess I realized that. I
Yeah.
don't remember like when Michael Jackson died.
You know what's funny is I can't tell you what I had for breakfast this morning, but
Yeah.
I can tell you years ago what happened vividly in
Yeah.
detail what happened.
Oh, I know. Rick will say, Rick reminds me all the time that I already told you that, or I mean, it's just we go with the flow. He knows that, um, and there, Olivia and Elijah have been excellent too. With all of this, and I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful. I don't have any pressure to, I'm just been able to rest and quilt when I can.
You have a good support system, and that's what a lot
I
of people
really
don't
do.
have.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's what a lot of people need and they don't get it.
Well, your podcast is really nice. I know I don't know who you went through, but I went through Goodman Campbell Brain and Spine, and they have just since my aneurysm, they have a group that gets online once a month, and they weren't doing that before my aneurysm, so it was right around the year before COVID, I think. So
Hmm.
it's nice to be able to communicate to people who
Yeah.
are in the same boat.
Yes. I started hosting a weekly virtual support group, and
Yeah,
it's nice to have and people from all around the world. I talked to a guy in Australia,
really.
Washington. I mean, it's just amazing. But even though we're all miles apart, we all have something in common.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've enjoyed talking to people too. Just there wasn't very many. I mean, my first person that I met, I was at the gas station, and they were Elijah had gone in the gas station. There was this lady in a car, and her dog pops her head out the window, and I said, "Oh, your dog is so cute." And she said, "Well, my dog was with me for when I had a brain aneurysm." I said, "You had a what?" And I said, so anyway, she got out of the car, and we just that was the second time I met another lady at a yard sale for the same reason. She had a dog, and it was somebody who had a ruptured brain aneurysm. So anyway,
Isn't that
those two
amazing?
people, yeah, I've been able to take notes. Yeah, I'll have to tap into your podcast. Rick just told me about it recently. I didn't have any idea, so
Yeah.
I'll have to tap into it more.
Okay. Yeah. Go back and look for the spoon theory. That one, you will
Yeah, well,
really
when you were
connect with that one.
explaining it, yeah, I don't remember it being about spoons, but it is true.
Yeah.
You spend your energy when it's gone, it's gone.
Hmm.
And I just take a nap. It's usually 3 hours, and then I'm, you
I do
know,
that too.
yeah, I hate it. I,
Yeah.
I try to get it all in before Elijah gets home from school, but I don't always. I'm usually can be snoring when he gets home, but he's okay. He's all right.
He probably just lets you be.
He does. I'm thankful. I really am. I
Yeah.
really am thankful.
You
He's
got some
supposed
really
to.
good kids.
He's gonna be. He's a senior, so we're trying to get him graduated.
I know. I
Oh,
remember coming to your house when you first brought him home.
yes. Sheila was coming to lunch once a week. I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah. He's 17, about to be 18.
I know. And
That's
here we're
wild.
just in our two O's. Isn't it crazy?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh goodness.
Oh gosh. Well, I think I could sit here and talk to you all night, Laura.
I totally could.
We'll sign off, but me and you will not end the
Okay.
conversation. But I want to
Okay.
encourage you guys, if you have any questions that you'd like to reach out to Laura, shoot us an email at liferewiredpodcast@yahoo.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and share this with someone who might need to hear the things that we talked about here. Having a brain injury is something that's lonely. And we want other people to know that you're not in this alone. So we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.